Good evening, everybody. Let me hook up the mic before I start talking. Test, test, test. Very good. Okay, I'm going to just clip this to myself. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. I'm doing this video a little bit earlier because of the fact that I am solely annoyed. Now, not for nothing. I don't have to see it if I don't want to. What I'm talking about is the situation over YouTube and the monetization. New rules are going to go into effect. To me, the assumption that I am thinking that it will affect a lot of new YouTube people, the people that are just starting out with their videos. I'm having a beer right now because I think a chit chat and a beer talk would be nice. If you got a beer, pop it open and we'll sit here and talk. Because of the fact that my YouTube was scrolling like you wouldn't believe it this morning. I mean, I couldn't just, I'm like, is everybody talking about it? Is everybody? You see titles, of course, the enticing titles such as, oh my goodness, I don't think I could do this anymore, or should I still do this, or my time is coming, or the end is near. I mean, it was just ridiculous titles for their videos, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is, everybody's upset at the fact that numbers, you will have to fill a better quota of numbers. And those numbers are a lot. Now, I'm going to show you something here with my phone because I took screenshots of everything because this is how I'm doing the research. What they want you to do is, okay, have the 1,000 subscribers. Okay. I'm a little over 900 myself. I think 901. Okay. They want 8,000 hours of qualified public watch hours in the last 12 months. Okay, this is what I'm showing. Okay, I've saved the list. And they want, this is a joke for me especially, 20 million qualified short videos in the last 90 days. Now, these rules will actually take effect in February 2027, but they will be sending information over YouTube Studio. Okay, the YouTube Studio, you will have to read the fine prints, and I suggest you read everything that they send you in January so that you can agree to everything. Now, when you agree to everything, that means that you will still, you know, in other words, you're agreeing to still get paid. Because if you don't fill that out, goodbye to you. Okay, they will do something about that. All right. In other words, maybe you're not satisfied with it. You don't want to do it anymore. I mean, if you want to do that, I would leave properly. I wouldn't just let it hang and then just let them make the decision. You know what I'm saying? Cheers, everybody. Cheers. This is like an evening of conversation because it was really, it's concerning for people who, like my friend, quit her job, moved to Florida, left everything behind, as most YouTube content creators do when they're in the state of Florida because they want to be near the magic. At least that's what she told me. We got into a tiff, me and her. And I politely told her off because it's, you know, she can take it whatever way she wants. When I talk, I just come out and I let you, I let you know how I feel. You know, I let you know whatever. She asked me for my opinion and I gave it to her, and I don't think she liked the outcome of it. Listen, I can only be me, okay? I can only be me. And there's only one way of that. So that's, yeah, but she says, yeah, but what about your channel? Now, I've had people come to me and ask me about my channel. Thank you so much for asking. But you have to understand something. I'm not sponsored. I'm not endorsed. I'm not ambassador. Just like I tell you when I show you a product or I go somewhere or I want to talk about a product or talk about a certain item of a store, I am not sponsored, endorsed, or ambassador. And that is the God's honest truth. I don't get paid from YouTube. I don't. I never did. Okay? And this happens to be, every time something like this would happen, I'm actually glad that I don't. I have a dry spot in my throat. It's really annoying. And the beer makes it so much better when I drink this. But then again, I'm talking a lot. So people are up in arms. They're like, it sounds like an apocalypse, like the world is ending in their world. Their world is ending. I mean, you know, I don't, it's not up to us of how people spend their money. You're making good money, God bless. You're making good, God bless, good for you. But it's how you spend your money, whatever you do with your money, behind closed doors, that's how you do it. So if you're panicking, excuse me, if you're panicking, that means that you're kind of living out of your means. That's the impression that I'm getting. That is also the impression that I gave my friend, because that's what it sounded like she was telling me. Oh my God, you know, I just bought a house. What am I going to do? Well, listen, if you bought a house and you're relying on the payment of your YouTube feeds, maybe you should rethink yourself. Maybe you should rethink yourself. You know what I'm saying? It is just unbelievable how some people are just, oh my God. And you know, it doesn't mean that if I look at a video and I see a title that is so dramatic that I'm actually going to click on it. No, I'm not going to click on it because I already know what you're going to say. You just wanted to do that just to get the clicks. We know that already. But I'm going to tell you something, for the people who do have the content and they go and they do their things, their little trips, their little things to Disney, that, you know, whatever they're filming, they're going to have to do it a hell of a bit harder now. They're going to have to get those numbers up. I mean, 8,000, I'm looking at this, 8,000 qualified public watch hours. Now, on an average, how long do you watch a video? Do you watch the video from beginning to end? I'll be honest with you, even myself, I don't even sometimes watch a video straight through. Sometimes I get distracted. I will stop the video, but then my YouTube, I have it set to where my account that next time I go into that video, it's going to continue exactly where I left off. You may want to consider that, but anyway. A lot of people don't have time to watch 20 or 30 or 40-minute videos. I try to make mine as short as possible. But then again, I don't get paid from YouTube. I don't have any commercials. I don't have any sponsorships. So I don't think that it's going to apply to someone like me because I don't care. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I enjoy bringing it to you. I enjoy sharing whatever it is in my life or whatever I feel like talking about at that time of day. And if you're around to listen to it, God bless you. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, I don't ask for nothing. I want nothing. I'm just doing this as a hobby, as I stated. And I like what I'm doing. I like my hobby. If nobody likes to watch it, whatever, they could go somewhere else, or they could go look at somebody else's video. Maybe there's different information, you know. But I will say this. I shot a video. I was shooting some videos down in Disney a few years ago when I went. I think it was 2018 or 2019. And I did get a lot of feedback from that. I got a lot more watches. I did. But you see what I mean? It's the content. So I don't have that kind of content all the time, as you know. You know, I'll just give you what I got here in New York. I'm still fuming over the Primark situation. It ain't going to get any better either. I wrote them on their social media page because another store is opening. And I'm probably just going to get passed over, you know. It's just, I wrote to them, but it's not going to do any good. But I try. I still got to try. So for the YouTubers, the ones that find it so dramatic that this is their only life, I understand this is your only job. But like I said months ago, that I never considered YouTube a job. If you leave your home, if you leave a job that you had, that you get benefits from, you get medical benefits, you get 401k, you get a retirement plan, and all of a sudden, one day, you just decide you don't want to do that. So you wind up quitting your job. You better have a lot of money, though. You wind up quitting your job. Some people don't, by the way. You wind up leaving, you wind up selling your house, or getting rid of your apartment, whatever you have to do, and moving just out of the blue because you want to move to the state of Florida, which, by the way, I do follow a few of real estate companies down in Florida, okay? You may want to also rethink that because Florida with real estate is not doing that great. Okay, there are some rich places, there are some poor places. You got to watch out when you go into the poor places, okay, because it's crime infested. Then again, you say every state is like that. We all have our problems, including New York, absolutely. Just be careful though when you do it. I mean, especially when you're going from another state completely to some other new. It's like a new land. It's like a new world, you know. And just because you treat where you lived all your life, you know, you have a certain way that you treat things, and all of a sudden you think you're going to go to the state of Florida and treat it the exact same way. No, they do. They have different rules down there. They have different things. Okay. I also understand, like, for the DMV. I don't know. I don't think you need you don't need a registration. There was something about the DMV my friend was explaining to me, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. She says, no, it's real. Something about the registration with the DMV you don't need or something. I have no idea. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. But holy smokes. It's a different thing down there. So, you know, prices are different. Properties are different. The properties are different on how that you go about buying a house down there. Now, I have a friend that is literally just bought a house. She's building the house from the ground up. They bought the lot, they bought the property, and the house went up pretty damn fast. It's only a few months, and that house is like standing. It's already got the siding on it. It's already got windows, and I'm like, holy shit. You know, I mean, it depends. I guess it depends also how much money you have. Okay. Now, there is a YouTube vlogger, by the way, who is building $1 point something million. That YouTuber, and I'm not mentioning no names, he needs to watch out now for the new YouTube rules. You see what I'm saying? So if everybody is living the high life down there, that's nobody else's fault. You can't blame YouTube for that. YouTube is raising the bar. They see what people are doing. They see what people are getting. So they would just, you know, have to make things right. And mark my words, other social media platforms such as Patreon, people get paid, you know, whatever social media platform that you get a salary from, like Patreon, TikTok, you know, things like that. Mark my words, if YouTube is doing this, chances are those apps and those social media platforms will follow suit. Absolutely. And you know what? Rightfully so. Rightfully so. They see what people do. They see that people are bragging about, oh, I just bought a new car, oh, I just bought a new house. Perhaps maybe you shouldn't tell everybody that either. Bragging rights much? You know what I'm saying? So I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, people watch, people look, people pay attention. You know, but does YouTube have the right to do this? Yeah, I think they do. I think they do. They're making it better. They do have other choices also of how to earn. So they're giving people choices of that as well. So now, last year, I hit the 500 mark. Or was it the year before? It doesn't matter. I hit the 500 mark. Now, YouTube back then was doing the offers to connect with an account, with a paying account, blah, blah, blah. You know, do Google AdSense. You know, would you like to do that? You can earn money. They sent me the paperwork for this, and I turned it down. I just feel in my heart and soul, number one, I'm not that type of content creator. Number two, I don't even create content. I just give you from my heart of what is happening to me on that day, or any information that I have, or an item that I'd like to show you. You know, just things like, just fun things. I am not a business person in that sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. I'm happy. I'm happy the way I am. I really am. You know, for the people who asked and who felt concerned, I'm happy the way I am. You know, it's just one of those things. But I have seen so many the YouTube algorithm was shifting. The YouTube algorithm was just scrolling with information of people being upset, and this is the end. And there's one woman in her channel. She's like, oh, she's like, this is so destroyed. You know, I guess it's an AI photo. You know, those thumbnail photos. I don't even do those thumbnail photos. I don't even do that. I just, whatever the way the YouTube video loads, the way I upload it is the way you get it. That's it. So sometimes I could have a stupid look on my face. That's not planned. It's just the way it's been loaded up. Just want to say that. I'll never do that either. I don't like the thumbnail pictures. Too many people also have a lot of AI crap going on in their thumbnails. I noticed that. I'm not about that, people. I'm not about that. I'm not like that. So you guys already knew that. But holy smokes, I was scrolling like, it's just like, is everybody gone nuts? Is everybody gone wacko? This is like the end of the world for these people because they consider it a job. I never considered it that, and you know how I feel about that. I always thought of this as a hobby. It's just a hobby. People took it to another level. They're taking it as a career. This is their only YouTube. This is their only job in their life. They have to get up. They gotta, and then I have to laugh at people who do these videos and they say, oh well, you know, I'm going to go back to the room tonight. I have some work to do. You're editing a video. You have work to do. That's the work. Am I downing this? Maybe I am, because I always considered never to be a job. People made it a career move. It's a career move. And now the career move is taking a different toll. You know, it's taking a different turn. And you know what? If you're in this for the long haul, you're going to have to abide by it. Tough shit. Tough shit. Just do it and go on with your life. That's it. That's what I say about it. That's my intake on it. That is my, you know, real life moment that I had to just come out and say this. It's just unbelievable. It really, I personally, because now my friend says, oh, well, you're not in the circle. Was that kind of insulting? Maybe it was insulting, but I didn't take it. I don't take insults like that. I really don't. I said, no, I'm not in the circle. I'm not in the square. I'm not in the rectangle. I'm not in the triangle. You know, I do the way I do. She says, yeah, but you don't understand because you don't have that. I says, right. It's not that I don't have it. It's because I don't want it. I never craved it. I never asked for it. I never begged for anything. And I said, oh, maybe one day I'll get that. You'll never hear me say that because I don't consider this anything other than, for me, a hobby. That's it. Other people this is the way they are, you know? And this is their only point in life right now, is to make videos and get that content out. Well, if you think, or should I say if they think, that the content they had to spit out was important, wait until January and February of 2027 when this really kicks in. January, you got to fill out the paperwork, and then February. Wait till this all kicks in. Listen, you got like, what? How many months to do this? August, September, October, November, December, January. You got 5 months to think about what you're going to do with the rest of your life. That's it. That's where I'm going to end that. Okay? If you love it so much, don't let it bother you. Write it out. You know, do what you got to do. That's it. That's it. Oh. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, I have me and my husband, we like Corona beer. By the way, I'm not sponsored, endorsed, or ambassadored by any of the products or the companies in which I speak about. I solely speak about them out of the goodness of my heart. I share them with you, my YouTube community, who I also consider my faraway friends. In no way am I affiliated with any content creator, vlogger, or blogger. And that is the God's honest truth. My husband and I drink Corona beer. We love it. Absolutely. I didn't put the lime in the beer, though. Usually I put a little spritz of lime. It's very good with it. But I keep this glass in the freezer. Keeps it really, really, really frozen cold. And it's just delicious. Cold beer in a frozen mug. Absolutely. It's really delicious. And I also have my Mickey bottle opener. Yes. I think I have two of them. I think I had another one here somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Anyhow, we love it. So that is my beef for tonight. That was my conversation and my rant for tonight. I just get yourselves together. You got 5 months to do it. And it's gonna be rough. I'm sure it'll be rough for the first few times. I'm sure like different a new video goes up, you're gonna have to do under the new rules, and I'm sure things are gonna look different and how you abide by those rules. But you do need to fill out. They want you to agree to the paperwork in January of which they're gonna send you, and that would be located in your YouTube studio, and that's also in your YouTube. I have YouTube Studio. I used to have it loaded to my phone, but I don't because I keep running out of room, which is another problem. Let's get into that one. Apple, while I'm sitting here, Apple decides that they're going to have a new leasing program. You can lease anything, by the way. You could lease your Apple Watch, your iMac, your iPad, and of course your phone. I would say really do your research and your homework before you do something like this, because there are, little clause in the fine printing that you should read. Just read everything. I went into the Apple store yesterday talking to a nice guy, but you know what? All salesmen want to sell you something. Here's one that doesn't want to be sold anything. I just asked some questions I wanted to know about it, and he was pretty slick with his, talk. And I noticed, the faster that you talk, they think that you're going to run into something. No, I don't do that. And every time he answered a question, I actually had another question. I kind of make my husband nervous when I do that. But I said to my husband, let's just go in and find out. Yeah, there are certain things. It's like leasing a car. But I feel that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be trapped. You're allowed up to 30, you could pick 12 months, 24 months, or 36. Here's the thing. You can't use a Chase Visa card. You can't do that. You can't use an American Express card. We have both. And they want you to go through Klarna. In other words, they're going to set you up with a Klarna account. They're going to do a background check on you. And then whatever they determine is what they will give you, the 12 months, 24, 36. I says, well, I'm going for 36 months with a 1 terabyte 17 Pro phone. So I already had everything. You know why? I did all the research the night before I went in there because I wanted to see if his story matched mine. I actually corrected him on a few things. He says, well, no, if you said it. I says, well, I'm showing you. Here it is, I said, because I screenshot everything. I said, here it is, I says 36 months, 1 terabyte. I think the bill was over like $24. I wanted the 36 months. I don't want 24 months. You know what? 24 months would have never been bad anyway, but it also depends on how high your phone bill. So like with the background check and all that other crap, and I'm going like, I don't think this is for us. So I says to my husband says, you want to wait? I says, let's wait a little more. We're going to wait a little more. So, I have no room in here as it is, and I'm going to stay that way now for the next few months. The Apple iPhone 18 will be coming out sometime in September, but it's the fold-up. They actually are going to have a fold-up phone. I don't do fold-up phones. I don't do that. So that's not what I'm about. I just want a regular, standard, iPhone. And I probably, when the 18 comes out, I'll still probably only go for the 17 Pro. I already have my heart set on that. 1 terabyte, hopefully. So that is all of the news for today for me. I do have some other things to talk about, but I'll let that go for another day. Maybe tomorrow night I'll do something else. Who knows? I just wanted to have that conversation with you. Nice little beer. How do you feel about YouTube? You have a YouTube channel? Do you get paid from YouTube? Do you have sponsorships from YouTube? Do you do Google AdSense? How does that work for you? How do you feel about the new updates happening? Okay. Let me know in the comments below, because this is a pretty good conversation. I hope to hear from a lot more people. I really do. Just give me your views on it. Like I said, for me, I'm different. I don't get nothing. I don't get paid. I don't get anything. So I'm just me, YouTube should be grateful for that. This one's making videos. She ain't asking us for nothing. Okay. Anyway, I am going to end here. I will talk to you on another day if anything else interesting pops up, because I thought this was damn interesting, because I know my whole, like I said, my whole YouTube algorithm feed is like, it just went merp. It's just set up merp. You know, it's dipping, you know, just with too many videos of the same thing now. It kind of actually took away from all the Disney information, which is a good thing. So we'll see. But yeah, it's a tragedy, folks. It's a tragedy. Poor YouTube is just trying to raise the bar for themselves. They want to raise the bar. But hey, listen, you guys show everything. You guys are all about what you want to show on your YouTube videos. You know, if you're proud of something, you're happy. YouTube watches this. YouTube sees what you're doing. Dummies. You know what I'm saying? Dummies. Yeah. So I'm just going to leave that there. I will talk to you soon. Again, happy Wednesday evening. Love to all. Have a good night. I will talk to you. Take care, everybody. Leave your comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Good night.